Welcome back. OTB. The Dead Man. Bringing you back in. Appropriate for the beginning of this segment, boys, as make no mistake, tonight's Thursday night football game is the equivalent of, what were some of the old matches that the Undertaker, like the Buried Alive match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearst match.
Yes, because whoever loses tonight.
When his manager, Paul Bear.
Yes, oh my God.
He burned him.
And his creepy, weird, pasty skin. I mean, all-time
He used to
weird.
freak me out a little bit.
All-time weird look, dude. All-time weird look. But the point is, in a lot of ways, if you lose tonight, are you not the NFL equivalent of being buried alive? I mean, your season is over, but you still have to play 10 more games. You have no real hope, no prospects for the future, but you got to play 10 more games. You got awful offense. It's a lot on the line going into this Thursday night toilet bowl. Now, I'm hoping, even though from the brands, we feel like it should not be a repeat of the last two Thursdays, which have been a testament to football viewing adversity, to all of those who have stuck around and made it through all of the prime casts. But I don't know, Jake. It's weird because when you talk about the Saints and the Cardinals, it doesn't seem like the reality of the teams matches up with our accepted brands, like what we think of them as. We've always known, look, the Saints have always represented offense since 2006, right?
Yeah.
Last couple of years, that has not been the case. What's crazy is, I want you to think, if you're listening out there right now as a Saints fan, I want you to think about how bad the offense has felt this year and how disappointed it's felt this year, and then realize that the Cardinals have actually been markedly worse. The Cardinals have failed to score a single offensive touchdown in 2 of their 6 games this season. They have failed to score 17 points in 3 of these 6 games this season. And I don't bring this all up to say that, oh, the Saints are definitely going to win, because no, I don't have any faith really in these Saints either right now. I bring this up because we could be in for another Thursday night classic unless one of these offenses figures out a way to operate.
Yeah, when you look at the Saints injury report as well, Adam Troutman out, Marshawn Lattimore out, Andrews Pete being out. I don't really know that that's a negative. Jarvis Landry out, Michael Thomas out, Chris Olave out, and the guys that we know are out, like Lante Taylor and Deontay Hardy and PJ Williams and Trevor Penning all on injured reserve. But it's the list is long and distinguished, if you will. Peyton Turner's questionable. Can I interest you in that? Nope.
Danny, you're nodding your head. Are you interested in Peyton Turner being questionable?
No, I was just saying, not surprising.
Yeah.
Paulson Adebo is questionable, and Keith Kirkwood is questionable.
Not Kirkwood.
Yeah, come on, like football. What are you doing?
Not Kirkwood. Not Kirkwood.
Well, it's like, I mean, does Keith Kirkwood deserve this?
No.
The guy's been grinding.
He played 51 plays
No,
last
I
game.
know.
He made a nice catch on third down. He elevated and got it at the highest point. He actually made a nice play.
Keith Kirkwood is a legitimate Saint. He's been on the Saints for what, 6-7 years, it feels like?
7 different times.
Yeah, hell yeah. I shout out Keith Kirkwood. The point is,
I don't see
why are the football gods so vindictive that they feel the need to even take out Kirkwood after he gets 51 plays? Come on, just let the guy run.
He's questionable, so he could potentially play.
Yeah, I want to be fully healthy.
I don't see Andy Dalton on this latest injury report.
Okay, that's good news.
So unless they just forgot about the red rifle, I don't see him on here.
I got a question for the group. Who is in a worse spot right now? A Saints fan or a Cardinals fan? And both spots are bad, because right now, if you're a Saints fan, you don't have a quarterback, not a long-term quarterback.
Cardinals.
And you would have a top 5 pick, which would be great to get a quarterback with. Only the Philadelphia Eagles now own your top 5 pick. And I get it. You got Olave for that. So it's like, okay, maybe in the end that's worth it. But you don't have a quarterback. Your record's bad. Again, the more the Saints keep losing, the more Dennis Allen is going to be questioned, and his past resume is going to come up and be used against him. So you may not feel like you even have a head coach. So that's bad. But then if you're looking at Arizona, you do have a quarterback, but now you don't know if he's the guy. You paid him $230 million. Cliff Kingsbury, Jake, is supposed to know offense. And like we just laid out, the Cardinals have been one of the worst offenses in the entire league. So Who do you think who's worse off right now mentally, a Saints or Cardinals fan?
I think it's got to be Cardinals because you have a lot of money now tied into that quarterback in Kyler Murray. Like if you're the Saints, you don't have a draft choice this year, but you do not have a ton of funds that are in a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
So you still have the option, if you want to move some things around, to give money to a quarterback, right, in free agency or if you want to make a trade. No, do not start that again.
Okay, my bad. I thought that's where you were going.
No, it's definitely not. So I think just for that reason, because you've got all this money through the Cardinals into your quarterback and the offense isn't working. Now you can get a new head coach and you can see and you get D-Hop back, obviously. But the Saints right now, they don't have a franchise quarterback in place that they're stuck with, if you will.
So it's better, So I kind of it's better to have no relationship than to be overcommitted in a potentially toxic relationship. And who knows? Maybe this all ends with the Cardinals putting Kyler Murray up for grabs, and the Saints get Kyler Murray, and that's where he ends up. Like I could see a future if it gets bad enough in Arizona where maybe that happens. You know who the Saints need, boys? Kirk Cousins. It's time, Jake. Make the call. Call up your boy. See if you get him down here north. No, look, Andy Dalton's been fine. If anything, that's the weirdest part about this Saints team is we feel like the offense is terrible and the defense has been good. But when you look up the numbers, the opposite is true. They're giving up more points than nearly anybody in the entire NFL, and the offense, I think, ranks like 13th or something. So that I don't exactly – I mean, I guess it's a big play thing because you're just allowing too many big plays. Like, I don't exactly know how to interpret that disconnect in my brain. Why do I feel like the defense has been performing so much better, but statistically they've been worse? And maybe it's because they were asked to do too much early on. Yeah. And they were doing really good, but eventually the offensive woes kind of weighed on them and time possession and other things, and then they would break down at the end. And so the final score is maybe not indicative of how they played on a play-to-play basis. But it's just, I mean, that's a bad sign, though. That's a really bad sign if you feel like the offense has been the worst group and then statistically the defense has been even worse. That's why you're 2-4 going into the toilet bowl this Thursday night facing this 2-4 Arizona team, which you don't get Mike Thomas back. They get Nuck back, dude. DeAndre Hopkins coming back off of a performance-enhancing suspension. I forgot that's what he was out for. Did we ever get a story about what it was in the performance? Like, is this like an Adderall situation, or do we know was this like a PED situation? Do we have any idea?
I don't know. I'm trying to do some research because ESPN.com has Chris Olave is out for this game, but the chat's saying Chris Olave might be available for this game.
Yeah, he told Cat Terrell yesterday that he's 100% and he'll be ready on Thursday.
That is good news.
Okay, that's great.
ESPN.com, don't scare me like that.
That's great. That's
Don't make me nervous like that. And it still has the red and out next to his name. We don't need that. We need all the bodies we can here.
Oh, fantasy players everywhere. Furious right now. What the hell? Yeah, that is legitimately great news. So, okay, then it's not DeAndre Hopkins, but getting Chris Olave back is nice for Andy Dalton, the same way that Hopkins getting back is nice for Kyler Murray. What about, Jake, help me out here. They trade for Robbie Anderson on what, Monday? Does he play this game? Is that possible?
I think he's a veteran player that you could give him some, package of whatever that might be, 7, 8 route concepts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same stuff, just going to have a different name.
Yeah. I guess what I don't love for a second week in a row is having Marshawn Lattimore out with an elite wide receiver.
Well, Hollywood Brown potentially being out helps too. And that's a big reason why Robbie Anderson probably will play. They need the bodies there.
Yeah. So, how we feeling about it tonight, boys? Anybody have a read? Do you feel like the Saints are going to win? I don't know if I'm just guilty of being generally pessimistic right now. I just think the injuries are too much to overcome. I don't think the Saints win tonight, Dan.
I feel good. I feel like the Saints always play good in prime time.
Okay. Yes. This is true. Okay, I like it. You're giving me a little juice here. Mar, you got any positivity, Sean?
I'm optimistic too. If you jump on them early, I think the Cardinals, like you guys are talking about, are in a worse spot than the Saints. So hopefully put kind of the kill shot in them and keep your season alive. I think the Saints will do that.
Jake, objective observer view here. How do you read this game?
The Saints is still, even without, their key players, they have still found ways to be in games. And in fact, last week I thought they were the team that should have won that game. And so you get Olave back, and that is great news. ESPN.com. Let's go ahead and fix that. Don't make us sweat this out because Michael Thomas out, Jarvis Landry out, Andrews Pete out, other offensive weapons, but still they have found a way. Now the quarterback situation and the health of Andy Dalton and obviously James Winston still that's going to be important here as well. You're on a short week. You got some older quarterbacks. Certainly Andy Dalton hurts his back against the Bengals. What's he going to be like? That's going to be a big factor. But the Cardinals are bad right now.
Okay.
And so I still like this to be a close game, and the Saints need to be able to make that play, close the game out like they did not last week. But there's nothing that tells me the Saints won't be in this game.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and to be clear, I don't mean that. I don't think they're going to be in it. I feel like in those biggest moments, and the fact that you're on the road and you're missing guys like Lattimore, I guess I'm just really fearing an exact repeat of last week where DeAndre Hopkins makes some big play at the end of the game to win the game the same way that Jamar Chase managed to. We will see. That's going to be tonight on Amazon Prime, which I'm looking forward to. I do enjoy the Primecast quite a bit. And if you want to come hang out and watch it, we'll be out at Walk-Ons 5 to 7 p.m. snaps. SEC legend Aaron Murray, if you want to come see us, wear your big blazer. You don't really have to wear a big blazer, but please come out tonight. Walk-Ons in Burbank 5 to 7. Please come support the show. We're going to be giving away LSU Ole Miss tickets, beer, merch. It's going to be a great time.